The Justin Robert Young program is brought to you as always by patreon.com/JURY. Support me and everything I do right over there. Patreon.com/JURY. And by stickers or DIAF. You want some merch? Some sweet Diamond Club stickers, huh? Is that what you want? Well, head on over to stickers or DIAF. We're out of our pin sets. We still got the Anyway See You Later pins. We only got probably like 30 of those, though, so they will probably sell out at some point. So if you want some, better get them now. Sold out of the patches, so I'm not lying when I tell you that this shit gets sold out. And I'm going to let you know we probably only have about 30 or 40 more of the $5 sticker packs, or all the new stickers, really, that would go in either the $20 sticker pack that brings you a JuRY will buy you a drink token and a Ruin 'em wine label, or just the $5 sticker pack with the new shit in it. That is, we only got 30, 40 more of those. So if you want them, go and get them. But you better hurry because they're going fast. Stickers or DIAF.com. I don't have the rights to that song. Let's go ahead and start the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Justin Robert Young program, JuRY, if you will. We got a lot to talk about. We got kids out here doing dumb shit on the internet again. We've got me doing jack shit over the weekend. We've got a baffling poster that I saw the other day. But I want to start by talking about something that is happening today. And I don't know whether or not this is something that veers more into the politics element of things. But I don't think it is. I think it's just like a human nature quirk. At the time that I'm recording this, on March 3rd, 2018, there has been a shooting at the YouTube campus in San Bruno, California. If you're unaware of the geography, San Bruno is about 10 miles south of San Francisco. April, not March, April. Off to a running start already. It is what is functionally considered to be Silicon Valley. And I don't know the details any more than what the San Bruno Police Department have told people. There are either 3 or 4 people injured, based on what I've seen conflicting things on whether they are counting the third person who was shot to be the shooter. The shooter is apparently dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But what I want to talk about is something that isn't going to be popular. Because on some level, I'm just going to be talking about human frailty and the actions of people that are scared. And very often, I think we get into these conflicts where everybody's scared and everybody's angry and everybody's anxious. And the things that are said mean more. They're like multipliers, like bonuses when everybody is frustrated and angry. So this thing happens lately, and I don't quite know why it happens, but it certainly fucking happens. That a shooting happens, we know about it. Why do we know about it? Well, because we have news and camera everywhere, and everything can go viral now. We can all know about everything immediately. We don't have to worry. I mean, understand what we had to do before we would know everything. Something like this would happen. And it appears by all cases that this is a case of some kind of either personal or workplace drama that turned deadly. Something this would have to happen, and then it might make the radio probably first. Maybe it would make the wires, but there really wouldn't be much of a rush for that because the newspapers, unless you were doing an afternoon edition, would print at night. So pre-24-hour news, I mean, hell, even with 24-hour news, I feel like some of the stuff like this probably wouldn't even make it immediately or get the kind of wall-to-wall coverage if there weren't Twitter. Twitter changed the game because it is so live, and there is a place in which every media organization, no matter how big or how small, can be pushed to talking about it. And you look at the situation, it's horrifying, and it's compelling, and it's human. And you're like, well, why aren't I? And so you do. That was a tangent. Here's what bothers me. Is the rush for everybody, not everybody, for my timeline, to start jumping up and down. And this is not one person. I don't mean to say, if you did this and I follow you on Twitter, this is not to say you. Because if it was one person, I would say, well, anyway, this is a thing that blank does. No. This is my timeline. Jump up and down and say, I want someone to say hopes and prayers. 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 And then somebody says hopes and prayers. And then they said, oh, shit, he said the thing. He said hopes and prayers. I wanted him to say hopes and prayers, and holy shit, did they say hopes and prayers. They said it. They said the thing. They said it. And it's not just that. Saw somebody on my timeline just now that we're finding hoaxes. Finding hoaxes. If you've never covered a tragedy before, there are people, specifically in the modern era, there are people who are trying to mislead. There are people who are just out and they're just fooled by stuff. There's rampant misinformation. And there was somebody on Twitter, and I have a hard time saying that she's not doing a good job, because she was doing a good job at what it was she was doing, but she was finding hoaxes and posting them in a thread at a time where we don't know anything. It just seems so counterintuitive to me. Why? Why would we go and find misinformation to put out? The point is to create clarity. And beyond whether or not she knows whether it's a hoax, like, what are we proving? That assholes exist? That somebody on Twitter is fucking about? That somebody is intentionally trying to leverage the pain of others into some sort of personal satisfaction? I mean, a lot of the shit that she was putting up there are known hoaxes. They're like, yeah, the Sam Hyde shit or whatever that people post. But it's like, literally, I only know about that meme. I only know about that bit because other people have collected it and shown it to me as an example of the fact that people are doing it. And I'm not saying that on some level, the fascination and the execution of these kinds of awful things aren't worthwhile. But man, do I have a hard time seeing how it's worth it to me now. And I'm somebody that loves all the raw data because I used to have to sift through it. So I enjoy trying to put together, well, all right, if I were a reporter, then, which not, now I'm a barking dog on the internet, but if I were a reporter, would I take that or would I take that? I'd probably want to call this person. Here would be the follow-up questions that I would ask the police. Here's what I would ask somebody who was there. This seems interesting. This seems interesting. This seems like bullshit. Let me cross-reference that. I like to do that. And even I'm like, I don't need to know all the hoaxes that are happening right now. So I'm in a weird mood. I'm in a real weird mood. And this kind of triggered it. The lines are open, 510-404-8030. And I don't know exactly who the fuck would ever want to call in after I just, argued and yelled into the mic for forever. But there's that. I didn't do anything this weekend. Master54, I'm not sure what the point you're trying to make is. All right, I'm trying to make 2 points. Number one, I just don't, I find it really, really weird to me that there sort of seems to be this bizarre bleacher creature situation going on social media after a tragedy. If you're unaware, in Yankee Stadium, there are the bleacher creatures. Guys who there's bleachers out in the right field or left field, I can't remember. But at the beginning of each game, they keep chanting each person's name on the field until they turn around and doff their cap to them. And I get it that, man, people find it distasteful. If you are for gun control and you are not a particularly religious person, then it just fucking cheeses you off whenever there's a shooting, whenever there's something horrifying, and literally the only thing that anybody does is say, I give my thoughts and prayers. I give my hopes and prayers, whatever. I know it gets your goat. But it just is so weird to me. It's so weird to watch like this thing, this like side action, this a weird rolling wave of craziness whenever something awful happens. An awful thing happens in the world, right? And then one side, before anybody says anything, one side just starts screaming they're going to say thoughts and prayers. And then somebody does. And then it's a yell about that. Like, it doesn't seem productive. It just seems weird. It just seems weird to me. And I'm willing to be wrong. I'm definitely willing to be wrong. But I don't know what I'd be wrong about, except for the fact that I find it weird. And then the other thing is the point I'm trying to make about the hoaxes is like, this is a very vulnerable time for the truth. Cymaster54 says, isn't the point that this happens so much that the timeline is predictable? Shouldn't people call attention to that? I mean, I think that that's a point you can make. I mean, and I know that Thoughts and Prayers has kind of become a meme. But I don't know. I don't know. This was a bad way to open the show. Specifically since everything else I have is like really silly and light. There's really no good way for me to transition to a thing about snorting condoms, is there? Is there a good way? Is there a good way for me to transition to snorting condoms? I don't know.
I think it was pretty good.
Who's that?
It's me. Satan.
Satan, what are you doing here? I'm just trying to do a show. I'm trying to do a show, and you are mocking me. You're repeating my words, and then you're just, you're just getting in the way of things. Nobody wants to hear from you right now. You're the fucking devil.
Yeah, I know, but I'm also a patron.
A patron to patreon.com/JuRY?
Yeah, I am. I really, listen, I mean, I think that sometimes there's a lot of different reasons why people listen to the show, and sometimes it's for funny times, and other times it's for serious fare.
So you think this is on brand? This is an on-brand thing that I'm talking through my feelings right now with no regard for tone or timing. I mean, this is the linchpin of how I make my living. I should probably take it more seriously than...
I mean, again, listen, I don't want to interrupt, but there are so many different kinds of flavors of content on the internet, and if somebody wanted something totally serious, they would go get it. But for whatever reason, you have enough people that are watching you, including me, from hell, that wants exactly what's going on your mind. Because if there's anything that you can reliably provide, it is a transparent look into a chaotic mind that I think many people can relate to.
But who wants to hear any more from this, like, totally self-absorbed perspective? Like, on some level, doesn't it just sort of say that this entire internet culture is just some sort of a vapid hall of mirrors, that there's literally no bit of minuscule element of my life that's not worthwhile to document?
Well, I think you're missing the point. It's not that anything is that important. It's that we can all relate to the mundane. And so, yeah, maybe this episode is going to be a little disjointed and weird, and maybe you just totally hijacked a very important news story and some, let's be honest, mediocre media criticism, so you could have an inner monologue with both Satan and yourself.
And you can slowly realize that you and Satan are the same person.
Kind of blows your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does. Hey, thanks for cheering me up, Satan.
No problem. I'm going to go back to hell. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Satan, everybody. He's just he's a really good guy. He gets a little bit of a bad rap. But you want to know what? When the show's off the rails, there's just no way that you can't get out of it with a little bit of little pick me up talk from Satan. Satan is a patron. The internet in hell apparently fast enough to stream Twitch. Kids are snorting condoms. I do feel better after talking to Satan. Yes, Sunbun, South Park did it. Here we go. This is the newest challenge, folks. Kids are snorting condoms. According to KVUE, another internet challenge has some parents alert and just about everyone's eyebrows standing straight up. A viral video on YouTube has been circulated and shared thousands of times showing teenagers and young adults snorting condoms. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, but the line isn't so fine when people start snorting condoms. I really just want to read that in the way that, because this is a television script. So I read that wrong. Hold on. Let me read it better. Another internet challenge has some parents on alert and just about everyone's eyebrows standing straight up. Viral video on YouTube has been circulating and shared thousands of times, showing teenagers and young adults snorting condoms. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, but that line isn't so fine when people snort condoms. Internet challenges rule the World Wide Web. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, KVUE in Austin, Texas. Fuck you. Internet challenges rule the World Wide Web? Who the fuck wrote this? Internet challenges rule the World Wide Web. In fact, web zones like http://www.youtube.com are one of the places that you'll see such buffoonery. I feel like every television anchor should end like a creaking door. Long gone are the days of milk chugging and spoonful of cinnamon. The Tide Pod Challenge brought millions to a halt. The California Reaper Challenge seemed to affect anyone who tried the spicy pepper, but the Condom Challenge is different because of the tool in blank. Sounds like a robot dying. So literally, all right, I saw this clip. They literally just go out and like do man on the street interviews on like, hey, do you think snorting a condom is good? Ultimately, it's really more of a geek magic trick than it is anything else. What happens is you like snort the condom in your nose and then it comes out your like sinuses, so it's like a post-nasal drip kind of thing. And you reach into your mouth and you pull the condom out. That's what it is. If you're unaware, we could probably look up a video of somebody snorting a condom. It's like kind of an interesting way to understand how your face works, to be honest with you. At least it's a lot better than the Tide Pod thing. Which I also, I don't know. Yeah, So-and-C says I do that with spaghetti. Max Trollbot in the chat is pissed off because they've removed the penis before you snort it. It does bring me to this. Folks, I know a lot of you guys come to me for a lot of different information. Here is another piece of information. Folks, these are some of the newest up-and-coming challenges to YouTube. Because, look, a lot of these, by the time that they make it on to the national news, I mean, they're already kind of done. So I've been sweeping YouTube, trying to find up-and-coming challenges that are about to really blow up. They'll be the new things that KVUE will be bitching about in 2 weeks. Here we go. Up-and-coming YouTube challenges. The Eat Your Hat Challenge. In this challenge, you eat your hat. The Emotional Breakthrough Challenge. This is after years of seeing a talk therapist, you eventually realize a mental blockage that has irreparably damaged your life. The Drink a Glass Challenge. This is where you blend a glass with an industrial strength blender and drink it with your favorite beverage. And of course, the Applejack Challenge. This is when you eat an apple while lifting a car and jacking your dick. There's the That Was a Hard Left Turn Challenge. This is when you start your podcast with slightly unhinged media criticism, only to go into a pre-written bit with ridiculous on-hold music. There's the I Hope They Don't Notice Challenge. This is when you basically do the same thing as your dating trends bit, but with different random shit. And finally, the Eat Your Bat Challenge. That's where you eat Val Kilmer. And those are your up-and-coming dating challenge. Dating challenge? I fucked up. These are your up-and-coming YouTube challenges. Big thank you to Gambling Man for producing that segment. I saw a poster that blew my mind the other day. Man, it blew my mind. It's a poster, all right, 2 levels, right? Like 2 apartments, basically. 1 apartment up top, 1 apartment down below. Apartment down below, 2 single guys. 2 single guys. Apartment up top, family. Young family of 3. Mother, father, young child. The young people down below are smoking. There's a plume of smoke going up to the other apartment. And I can't remember it exactly, but we might have even gone so far as to have the child coughing. So immediately upon first glance, I thought what I'm sure all of you guys think, that this is a PSA to avoid secondhand smoke. Secondhand smoke has been something that has been warned about for years and years. Since I was but a small child, everybody was worried about secondhand smoke. One of the many problems with smoking in general, it smells, it's unhealthy, and based on secondhand smoke, you could not just be infecting yourself, you could be infecting those around you. Which is why so many people started vaping, right? Vaping became the new thing. That you weren't just inhaling tobacco, you could buy cheaper vape juices. It was not as habit forming. You could step down from smoking to vaping. But it was only as I got closer to this poster that I realized that this was not what I thought it was. They were going after second-hand vaping. Vapor contains formaldehyde, read the PSA, the public service announcement. Vaping contains formaldehyde, and for the first time in my life, April 2018, I saw the first ever second-hand vape public service announcement. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. I don't know if it was a public service announcement. Although, Crunchy, if you want to call in right now and tell us about how dangerous formaldehyde is, considering your line of work, then please feel free. I don't know who paid for this. I do not know who paid for this ad. Although, I do have a suspicion. Vaping has tremendously cut in to cigarette sales. There's one thing that I will say is almost for sure about the cigarette industry and the tobacco industry. They are very, 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 very good at advertising against themselves. I'll get into that in a second. Hello.
Hey, this is Crunchy.
Crunch, how you doing? All right. You were saying, ask me if I give a fuck about formaldehyde. If you are inhaling formaldehyde all the time, how much harm can it do to you?
It is said to be a carcinogen. But I mean, everything is nowadays. Microwaves and cell phones are. But the thing with formaldehyde being in vape pens is like, I mean, I don't know if people are aware of this, but when the formaldehyde kind of drains out, it goes in the fucking drain. Formaldehyde's in your water.
What? Wait a minute. Are you saying that we are all being exposed to secondhand water drinking? I guess secondhand water drinking would just be spitting in somebody's mouth. Never mind. Please, go ahead. Formaldehyde's in far more things than we might think, is what your point is.
Yeah. And because, I mean, even technically, because some people apparently smoke formaldehyde, which I don't understand how that's possible, because that shit's like I've heard it's stronger than the gas chambers, like for people that were in the military. I cry my eyes out every day I'm at work. But anyways.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. So just for people who are unaware of what you do for a living, you are around formaldehyde a lot in your job, right?
Yes.
And your job is what?
I am an embalmer and crematory operator.
Okay. So just so everybody knows, people who don't know you can understand that you are coming from a place of experience when discussing formaldehyde, because it is an occupational tool.
Right.
Yeah. So you wait. And let me get to this. Who's smoking formaldehyde?
I don't know. Apparently you can dip cigarettes or cigaweeds in formaldehyde and it creates a nice high.
Really?
I don't know how you can get it that close to your face, but yes. And I've even had like fucking random gangsters on the street ask me if I can get them some formaldehyde. And the point I was trying to make with that is, like, you don't want fucking funeral home formaldehyde for that. You want straight formaldehyde like they used in, like, flooring companies. There's formaldehyde in your floor. It's in everything. Everything has formaldehyde.
So you should be able to dip your cigaweeds in anything.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow, what a door you've unlocked for junkies around the world listening to this show.
It would probably be too diluted, if we're being honest. But
the formaldehyde was in your heart the whole time. All right, so you are not worried about the formaldehyde in vapes, let alone secondhand formaldehyde in vapes.
Correct.
All right. Well,
like I said, you guys are drinking it all the time. You don't even realize it.
Holy shit. God damn it. You're blowing the lid off this shit right now, Crunchy. All right. Yeah, I'll tell you. We've made a PSA right here on the show. Thank you so much for hanging out, Crunch.
No problem.
Oh, my God. Everybody. Spread the word. Spread the word. Alert the town crier. Alert the ding, 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 ding. Formaldehyde's in the water. Formaldehyde's in the water. What are you going to do about it? We've been drinking it forever. You should only be drinking Coke. This podcast brought to you by Coke. Formaldehyde's in water. Yeah. Jay Raya says, PSA, dip your cigs and joints in water before you smoke. It's fucking formaldehyde in there, dog. I never thought we'd see the day. All right, so here's the thing. I think that it's the tobacco industries that are advertising against these vapes. Because if there's one thing that we know the tobacco industries are really, really good at, it's advertising against things. Because they advertise against themselves. The Truth campaign that we've all been watching forever. Let's make us the last generation to be a smoker. All that shit. All that like weird like people like ripping their like full, like they rip all their teeth out. All that shit, the Truth campaign. Or now they have the ones where it's like super like hip and with it. And it's like, tobacco companies are doing you dirty. I'm not even going to go any further on that. But you guys know which ones I'm talking about. They're funded by the tobacco companies. They had to. It's like a mandate, like a government mandate. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting conspiratorial. Maybe none of this shit is right. Maybe I'm just being crazy. I'm just being weird. Maybe it's just a weird thing. I don't know. But I feel like maybe I just wasn't productive enough over the weekend. Ashley was out of town. I literally did nothing but watch movies and TV shows. I saw the following shows and movies over the weekend. Ready Player One and Death of Stalin in theaters. I saw Brockmire and Preacher on demand. And then for whatever reason, I watched American Idol for the first time in my life. I've never watched an episode of American Idol before. It was always like on while I was doing shit. But I sat down and I watched a whole goddamn like 2-hour episode of American Idol. Here's the thing I learned about American Idol. It's Preacher's not back. I caught up on the last 3 episodes. Here's the thing I learned about American Idol. It's like hypnotic. It just kind of like washes over you. And I kept thinking it was over. It kept acting like it was over. It kept like, Ryan Seacrest would just come on. They're fucking hiding Ryan Seacrest on this show, by the way. I am sure that there's somebody's job right now in Los Angeles that is editing as much of Ryan Seacrest out of these shows as possible, because that motherfucker's in a Me Too situation right now. His motherfucker's getting sued by some like stylist of his for being a creep ass. They are editing him out. Here's our American Idol correspondent right now. Hello, who's this?
This is a Fitz. I just want to say I knew you secretly goddamn loved Ryan Seacrest. I could tell it. You just wore that face. So are you hooked on him now?
On Ryan Seacrest or on American Idol?
Yeah. Both. You can't have one without the other.
I followed American Idol on Instagram. I feel like that would be the place where I would be most likely to kind of have any kind of regular interaction with these crop of kids that I met on American Idol. That was as much commitment as I was willing to give it.
Oh, so you're Seacrest hunting now. I feel it. You're not stalking.
What's with your thing with Seacrest? I mean, I was talking about how they're hiding Seacrest, and now you're making me obsessed with him.
Well, I mean, you was wondering where he was at. I'm not.
No. I'm saying they're hiding. They're editing the shit out of him because, like, normally, at least in other like clips that I've seen, he's like a big part of it. He's like talking to everybody backstage and walking around with them. And in the episode that I saw, again, this motherfucker is 2 hours. It's gigantic, right? This is a long thing, right? I mean, I think the 3 episodes, the 2.5 episodes of Preacher that I watched probably could have fit into the 2-hour actual like runtime of this show with commercials. And there was like a bunch of Ryan Seacrest VO because you can't really change the VO. And then like one thing of him saying, I'm backstage now, and these are the rooms that they are going to decide who the next American Idol is in. And that was it. There was nothing else. And I don't blame them for hiding him because he's in the middle of shit. And you don't want like your social media to all be dominated by, I thought Erin's voice was beautiful, but Ryan Seacrest is a rapist. Like, you don't want that. You just want, I think, Erin's voice is beautiful.
So I just imagine you sitting on the couch, Ashley's gone, you got nothing to do, and you just got hooked in a 2-hour goddamn American Idol hole, and you're like, what Seacrest room is he going to be in next? Where's he going to be at?
Again, man, I don't know why you keep bringing this back to Seacrest. It was like a fairly minor point, but for whatever reason, this is your like number one thing that you want to call and ask me about.
Well, because he's a great guy. I mean, all
right, here, restate that. You are a gigantic Ryan Seacrest fan, and you want to know if I am also.
Yes, I will go to Twitter now and say I'm a giant Seacrest fan. I love him. He's great.
Well, you don't need to. I'm just trying to understand what the fuck you're saying, Fitz.
I don't know. I'm just high, man.
All right.
I love you, man. God bless. See you later, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, bye. It's Fitz. I feel like I need one of those, I need one of those, it's Fitz. Just whenever he calls in. Everybody sings good. Problem with American Idol. All right, here we go. American Idol. I know the show hasn't been as popular lately, and it's currently in ratings trouble, but for whatever reason, now I'm going to do what I probably should be doing, should have been doing for the last 10 years of my career if I wanted to talk about pop culture, and that is discuss American Idol. I want to talk about American Idol real quick. I think all the judges are too nice. All these judges are too nice. They're too nice. Too nice. Lionel Richie. Oh, my God. Sitting there at the end of the booth. Hello. He's too cool dad, right? So, number one, he keeps calling Luke Bryan and Katy Perry children, but he's not like old crotchety guy. He's not like, Ma, well, if you would have sung like that back in my day, Sam Cooke would have crushed your face. It's not like that. It's just cool dad. He's like, oh, man, that's fantastic. Too nice. Katy Perry in the middle. Too nice. But she's also like, I get the feeling that the real Katy Perry that should be out there is the one that is what I suspect is the real Katy Perry. A mean Katy Perry. Mean girl Katy Perry. I want jaded Katy Perry. I want angry Katy Perry. I want because every once in a while, her pop songs, whenever she does the ballads, sometimes they're a little meaner, right? Like they're a little darker. She does like weird sci-fi or fantasy imagery in some of her songs. I want that. I want spacey, weird, mean, catty. Whenever one of these girls comes up and sings, you should be like, nah, she can't be there. She can't be on the stage. But she's not. She's just that's so good. Boring. Then you got Luke Bryan, who just because he looks like an anthropomorphized cob of corn, who's really likable. He's a really likable cob of corn. He just gets up on the stage and he's just like, wow, golly, man, get me some butter and salt. God, I'm a cob of corn. I was up here, man, they're paying me a lot of money to be a cob of corn on the television. And I think that your song was just great. Great. He never closes his mouth. Great. My eyes are permanently open. I can't even close it. I'm just. Some people like to put paprika on me. I'm a cob of corn. I'm realizing now that I'm doing a very specific impression of somebody that the chat probably doesn't know and certainly doesn't have any sense of how he's acting. But he's nice too. That's what I like. For what I saw of the other American Idols, when I was at its best, you had three kind of judges. The music nerd, Randy Jackson, who's going to tell you some music shit. Your melodies were transposed, dog. Something like that. Something where it's none of these fucking kids, they're all starting out. They're all, hey man, I'm Joe. I'm 14 and I have 3 kids and I wait tables at a haunted bowling alley. They don't know shit about ass. So if you're criticizing them on some real music shit, then they're just going to be like, okay, I'll learn. And then we as the audience will learn too. Then you had Paula Abdul, who looked like she was about to pass out and kind of wanted to fuck all the guys. I want that. Just a hot mess where you don't know if she's going to try to lick somebody and is she going to fall asleep. You just want her so out of it that you just like, if somebody fed her a line of Coke, you'd be like, okay, well, it makes sense. She's got to get through the show. And then you have Simon, who's just mean. But that was the idea, right? Is now he's a final boss. If the person that he likes is blessed by the eye of Sauron, and the person that he doesn't like has to win him over. Stakes, a story, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Oh, man, I don't know which one of those I am, man. Did you say one of them was a cob of corn? Because I'm a cob of corn, man. This is a weird show. This is just a weird fucking show.
You're telling me.
Let's go ahead and get into your emails. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com is where you can write in. Jury in the subject line. Cappy writes in, Dear Diamond Club, I'm in a slight pickle. My fiance and I are getting married in just about a month, May 4th. Yes, May the 4th. My best man has been putting off the duty of scheduling my bachelor parties with the guys. While he's had ample time with many reminders from not just me, but my best man and my fiance as well, today he decides to ask some of the groomsmen for a weekend coming up very soon in which most of us can't make it on short notice. Should I be pissed at my best man and try to fix it all myself, a.k.a. plan my own bachelor party, or let the chips fall where they may? All right, Cappy, I got some hard truths for you. You ready? Number one, you picked a shitty best man. Literally, there's like one thing you have to do, and it's basically just organizing everybody's schedules. The rest of it is kind of set it and forget it. Because he's going to ask you, hey, what do you think about this? It's usually nice dinner, little mini vacay, or titty bar, or some combination of the three. I've been to my fair share of bachelor parties. They're relatively easy hangs, you know. Gone to the tittyless ones. Went to a cabin. Played board games all weekend. Blast. Gone to the titty full ones. They're full of titties. It's great. But the one thing that you have to do is get everybody's schedule in order. So guess what, Cappy? You have one of two decisions. And based on your email, I'm going to tell you which one you really want. You can either say, fuck it, no bachelor party, we'll do something after the wedding. Or say, hey, I'm sending around an email. Everybody let me know which of these following 4 weekends are good. And then we're done. So you organize your own. And I'm telling you right now, organize your own. You got a lot of stress, I'm going to guess, with the wedding coming up so quickly. I saw it happen to myself. I literally just watched it happen with a friend of mine. The best day of your life will be your wedding day. Yes, 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 you'll marry your best friend and be happy forever, blah, blah, blah. You'll also be done planning a wedding, which is in equal importance to marrying somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Because planning a wedding sucks a nut. Oh, my God. Is it the fucking worst thing ever? Nothing worse on the planet than planning a wedding. You can go back and listen to the podcast that we did when we were planning ours. It's bad. Very few times I've been under more stress. So give yourself a weekend off from it. Do your own bachelor party. And here's another hot piece of advice. Let it go with your friend. Because The only person to blame is you for choosing him. I'm just going to tell you, I'm friends with a lot of really irresponsible last-minute motherfuckers. And I would include myself among that. And each and every one of us were able to put on a bachelor party a month, if not 2 months before the wedding. So whoever this motherfucker is that did it, he fucked up. But guess what? To punish him for it now is to add more stress during a very stressful time. So just give yourself the weekend when it will be very, very worthwhile. You'll relax. You'll have a good time. You'll laugh with your friends. Let go of it as much as possible. And then reconsider how mad you are with this person after the wedding. Maybe it'll have some bearing, but my wild guess will be that you'll be so excited that the wedding's over, you ain't even gonna mind. Joe writes in, a hot dog is only a hot dog once it's been determined to be a hot dog. Until that time, it is both a hot dog and not a hot dog. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just uncovered Schrodinger's hot dog. Ladies and gentlemen, you can email me, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. You can get stickers at Stickers or DIAF and sign up for the Stickers or DIAF mailing list at bit.ly/Stickers or DIAF. You can, again, make sure you put JuRY at the subject line of all your emails when you send them to justinrobertyoung.com. Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at JustinRYoung. And you can join the conversation at diamondclub.reddit.com. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is your old pal, Justin Robert Young, reminding you to please don't die!
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
That was a great show.